And would you be open to a pause in tariffs to allow for negotiations?
Well, we're not looking at that. We have many countries that are coming to negotiate deals with us, and they're going to be fair deals. And in certain cases, they're going to be paying substantial tariffs. There'll be fair deals, as you know.
So yesterday was a tumultuous, don't know if that's a real word, day in the markets. And there was a rumor swirling around that this is kind of how he addressed the rumor of being a pause in the market. But we're going to tell you today why that was a very, very telling time in the market yesterday, what it means, and what I'm looking for in the very, very near future. And with that, remember, every single day in crypto is an adventure, and that if you are not a subscriber, now is the time to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and all those things, because we give news every single day about crypto, what's going on in the market, occasionally some alpha. And with that, let's get into it. So yesterday was a crazy day on the market. Everyone was calling for yesterday to be a bloodbath. Some were saying it was going to be the next Black Monday that would rival something from 1987, the Black Monday from 1987, when I was just a wee lad. I remember that day very vividly. So with that being said, I mean, geez, this tariff talk has been the real center place of the macroeconomic outlook for the entire planet. You know, markets on Sunday, crypto market took a complete bath. You know, it went down probably 10, 11% on Bitcoin, but all the predictions about yesterday were quickly turned around. The market opened up low, but yesterday, let me show you this. You know, if you were watching very carefully, we'll look at the 1 hour time frame. If you were watching very carefully yesterday, right here, you can see this big spike. You can see this big spike. We started off the day pretty low, and it actually raised the day. And this spike coordinated with a fake tweet out there saying that President Trump was going to do a 90-day relief on the tariff so he can negotiate deals with these countries. It was quickly found out through this information that I just showed you and some others that that was simply not true. And with that, the market retreated. But if you look, after that, it started to rebound even further. Now, why is that? Why do you think? Well, if the market was so intent on just going down, 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 for lots of reasons, and it didn't do that. And the second they got positive news, like I heard $3 trillion was pumped into the stock market. You saw crypto just, banana up, hockey stick, whatever you want to call it. It shot up quickly. It just tells me there's an appetite for risk on assets right now. As soon as there's good news about the tariffs, expect money to just flood back into the markets. It's sitting on the sidelines right now. So that is very, very telling. And there's another piece that's very, very telling about yesterday. We're going to get to that in a second. But that is really, really bullish for crypto, for the stock markets and all these things. The market knows this is an artificial happening, but because it's happening, it's going to force things to actually happen. When the market's down like this, countries are going to make some rash decisions. But look at this. Crypto, fairly positive over the day. Last day, week we're still down 10-ish, 8 to 10%, some 16s. On the hour, yeah, we're like, okay. But look, there is a big inflow back into crypto yesterday. And I expect to see that be a very volatile time right now. I don't know right now, tomorrow, what's going to happen exactly until a couple things happen on the macroeconomic picture. So if you look at, let's talk about the stock market again. So yesterday, same thing. The stock market was supposed to open up low, and it did. And it actually ended up, the NASDAQ actually ended up slightly up, like 0.1% up. Dow was down just a little bit, or probably 1%. That's not a little bit in these days, but about 1%. And the Dow, NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 was also just slightly down. So all in all, not the bloodbath. And I should have called this because Kramer was calling for a bloodbath in a bloody Monday. Gosh, Sunday Bloody Sunday and a Monday Black Monday. Gosh, hard to think of words early in the morning. But he was calling for a Black Monday type event, which would have been catastrophic for the markets. And it just didn't happen that way. And I think it didn't happen that way because once positive news came out and the market saw how the market reacted, that everyone knew this was artificially being created and a solution was coming very, very soon. But let me play this little clip for you as well.
We're going to get fair deals and good deals with every country, and if we don't, we're going to have nothing to do with them. They're not going to be allowed to participate in the United States.
Fair deals from every country. This isn't just about tariffs. This is about labor laws. This is about pollution. This is about fighting for every worker, and mostly the American worker, because how can we compete with a country that pays their people pennies? How can we compete against a country that manipulates their currency, that does all these things? And this has been happening for decades, and we've let it happen. You know, as the biggest purchaser of goods in worldwide, it should be a little bit different. Now, that being said, I think this course will right itself. We have 70 different countries wanting to play ball. You know, Japan is now on board. I shouldn't say on board, are willing to talk and negotiate. You know, they sell us millions of cars every year, and we don't sell them much. You know, we sell them some things, but they have a lot of tariffs. China, you know, and the other major news that came out yesterday and that was very telling is that the market is acceptant of the fact that China might be a holdout. You know, if you have India, Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, you know, European Union, Canada, Mexico, all coming to the table, China's not going to want to be left out of that picture. They're not going to want to be left out of selling things to America because that's propped up their country for the last 40 years. And so I see that if they are a holdout, it won't be for long. They'll try to make terms, you know, they'll try to make deals on their terms. But at the end of the day, we're going to get more out of China than we have now. And it's going to be closer to fair, but maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just forge new trading partners. Now, what does this have to do with crypto? Obviously, the tariffs have been taking its toll on crypto. And when they end and all this money sitting on the sideline, it will pump through. One other major event that's happening right now is oil is going down. And again, oil is in every single goods and service bought and sold and delivered in the United States and other countries. And if this is twofold, you know, this is twofold. This oil going down is twofold. It's one, is it based on recessionary fears? Yes. But what Trump hasn't told you is that all of this is forcing OPEC to increase their production to lower costs. He didn't have to go directly. The tariffs cost, you know, was one thing he did that looks like it's solving a lot of problems. Now, I know a lot of people don't feel that way right now because of the short-term pain. But if oil is less expensive, people if oil is less expensive, it doesn't cost people as much. They have more money in their pockets. It's a stimulus. You know, if the interest rates go down, people pay less for credit. It's a stimulus. If the Fed starts to pump money again, it's a stimulus. 35% chance that the next meeting that the Fed's going to drop the rates. 35% chance. Yesterday, this was almost 50-50. But then the market was found out. The market discovered that, you know, money is sitting on the sidelines ready to pump in for when there's trade deals made. And no one wants to get behind that. I bet you will see a green day in the market today. I bet you the Dow will pump, the S&P will pump, and the NASDAQ will pump. This isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. This is an estimate or a guess based on knowledge. And who knows what's going to happen. The market, you know, Trump could say something crazy through a tweet or issue more tariffs, and the market could completely reverse. So that being said, very volatile. Watch your bags. You know, for me, I haven't sold anything other than what's going on my either grid trading bots or my DCA martingale type bots that I do them through Pinex, which there's some links down below if you're at all curious. If you don't have time to sit around and make trades all day and you want a machine do it without emotion on a schedule of buys and sells that you can keep in your exchange, you should check out EasyBot. EasyBot's done pretty well for me over the years. I'm going to do a video next week update of the new bots I started about a month ago. Once we've hit 30 days, I'll give you a full update. And so that is basically a trading software that through an API the software sends an API to your exchange where you keep your crypto and your keys, and it sends buy and sell signals, with a specific algorithm. I've been using it since August 25th of 2022. Here we are in 2025. I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary this summer with them, and it has been working very well. So links down below to those. And if you act now, you can get 2 free bots for 45 days if you use my login code, which is down there. But that being said, crypto, still super exciting. I don't see this excitement going away right away. The tariff deals, we're still maybe days or weeks away. I don't think it's going to happen today, but they're holding out for Max Payne until they make the final decision negotiations and deals because they want these countries to feel a little pain. In the meantime, we're getting tariff money. Tariff money helps offset the debt, help offset taxes and things like that. So all in all, I do see this week being a very, very volatile week for crypto. Good news, bad news, good news, bad news. It's going to be nonstop. And so I am not personally doing any leverage trades right now. Yesterday, I lucked into one. I say lucked into one because I put a small leverage trade on because I thought XRP was down. It was down at like 170 something. And I thought that was the bottom. I put a leverage trade in, and then that fake news came out. I sold. I made a little bit of money. It was kind of fun. I wasn't really watching it because I was doing other things. But after that, I just don't see myself doing a leverage trade right now. I'm buying bits. I'm DCAing in just little bits, not a lot, because my powder is dry, but not a lot of it. So I'm in the markets just like you all. I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I'm not selling my XRP, my Solana, my Cardano, all the other ones I have. I'm holding strong for faith of this market. I don't think this bull run is over. I think we're in a cub market. It's a mini bear, but we'll see what happens. That being said, I hope you got something out of this today. If you did, drop a comment down below. And if you made it this far and you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, do all those things. I'll see you next time.